coming to you from the Ionian Sea area of the Mediterranean. This is Tony at Casa Esmeralda. Thank you for those who've liked and subscribed. Hit that like button down below, and I guess this is the video you've been waiting to see. I have not done a lot of filming. I wanted to do a lot of filming. It's just time management and getting everything done. The goats take up about 2-3 hours of my time. And then I have the other birds, and I have the dogs, everything. And the dogs have been sick, and I got a touch of it too. Anyways, let's get on to the video of my summer garden and what I planted and grown. I think last time I did the video is when I put the seeds in the ground, and we'll take a look at it now today and everything that is growing. Do a quick walk around some of the animals. Last year I incubated a lot of chickens, and basically I just ended up paying a lot of feed and time into the winter months. So I only need, because it's me, I only need 3 hens. So if I get 1 egg a day or 2, or sometimes I get 3, then that's okay, because that suits me good. So I still have the 2 roosters. There's some new hens over in the other corral. Then they're not fighting, so they're very happy in this space. There's figs, which are from last year. If you watch my videos, these are the purple figs. So these are the sweeter ones, which are right here. And then coming down into the Zucca. And the last time I made did any filming on this, these were just like hand high, and these really took off here. The tractor plow was really able to get down a meter down into the ground, but we've had no rain here now in a month, so I am basically hanging on to this in a race, trying to get some food on my table. So the Zucca is sort of really kind of growing here. That's no good, so you got some stuff coming and some weeds growing and things like that. The ground really dried out. I was able to fix the Goliath sprinkler, which I have running down there, and so my whole entire garden basically over a 4-week period dried out. As of today, that thing's been running and it's doing its job. It's really keeping the ground moist. I had a hard time with the Karcher trying to keep the ground moist because I didn't have any rain. The Karcher was doing the job, but it was taking up about 2-3 hours of my time until today, until I managed to get that sprinkler running and the right pressure and the pump and everything working. So it's all good. But some of these are like giant squash. So, and then down here in like the natural garden, the hugel mound, which is full of twigs, and there's twigs, there's leaves, there's of trees, there's of everything basically collected in about the last 3 years since I've been here. And so I let the chickens out one day, and and there was like 1, 2, 3 Hokkaidos all here, and the chickens, they ripped it out. So the chickens have not been out of the coop. I do not have any more Hokkaido, the Japanese pumpkin seed. Thank you, Ferdinand Hofer, for this. So I got 1 growing here, and I did put some nice black gold down. I tried transplanting a melon because my melons were lagging, and it seems like that guy, he's come back out of nowhere, because one day in the morning I looked here and it was dead. So this ground, all this is just moisture. And then this Hokkaido pumpkin here is really taken off. I'm very happy with it. So, and the ground is staying moist, which is the positive side here. That is moist. That's all wet in there. I can poke my finger down, but only at the very tip. The whole entire top part here is very dry. So it's about 38 degrees Celsius top here today. This is the cucumber melon. from last year. So these will grow to like 2 hand size round cucumbers. So somebody took like a melon and they made a cucumber melon out of it, and I'm looking forward to doing this. So we'll get up to the goats later on, and that since I guess first week of April. Now I've been on my bicycle. I have an old Italian guy. He comes and visits me off and on, which is really nice, and he kind of goes to town, and I've had a few rides there and back and stuff like that, so it's all good. I've been on the bicycle too, but this week I've not been feeling very good because whatever my dogs got from my neighbor putting out chickens, my neighbor over there, he does not understand about bacteria, viruses, and parasites, and that if you put dead chickens out on the lawn, you create more viruses, parasites, and bacteria. And he continues to do it. And last year 4 of my dogs died, and now I got 2 more dogs died. 2 more dogs are sick. And then this is the cucumber, which is the field cucumber. So there's only one growing here, and so this ground here actually dried out, but as of today finally it's moist. So it's got a nice field cucumber growing here, but it's only one compared to what I planted. So there's about over 200 sprouts. So I germinated like 300, and then some died off and everything because there was no rain. So there's another one I've seen coming in here. Yeah, there's another one coming in here. Right there. But it's not a lot. I mean, and the bees are back too. I just found out where the bees decided to go. This is supposed to be like an watermelon, and I could not hack through this as of today. I took the Zappa and I was able to hack through it. So there's some watermelon coming. Hopefully. It's been like a month and a half already, almost 2 months actually. And these melons are just not lagging compared to last year. Last year I planted melons later on, and it wasn't until about the first week of September really that I had melons. But then already starting like end of July and into August, I was eating cucumber melons all the time, almost every day for like a month, which was really nice. This is a larger version of that watermelon. Last year I had very much success with the melons and the watermelon in the pallet bins. The pallet bins are great for growing and stuff, and there's like immature melon here, kind of immature, just all of a sudden decided to. So there's some melons coming in here. These are of the canary kind. So there's some melons coming here. It's like 1 and 2. And there's some more canary melon coming in here. Right here. So I went with the Zappa through this today with the hand tool, the Zappa, and it did some weeding. So there's lots of weeding work to be done because I could not break ground here at all. And there's some more canary melon there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's another canary, 6. So half dozen, and the ants are on it. Oh boy. So let the ants do their thing. I don't use any pesticides or herbicides or anything like that. The melons Annie, I'm trying on 2 to grow as a bush, because these melons and the eggplants, they can grow as a bush or tree. I don't know how long this is going to take off, but this one here really took off, and then actually that one there took over. So I'm just concentrating really on 2, and then the others are kind of, so this is like over like a half meter high now. and you can grow this into a bush or tree, which is very difficult. I had the Italian locust fruit, and basically they all dried out after 2 weeks. So I tried to eat in about 2.5 weeks as much locust fruit as I can. Last year I had locust fruit for a month. It was nice. I had a whole I had a very large salad bowl in the fridge. It was always full of locust fruit, and this year not. So just trying to push this, and when the well water dries out and stuff like that, you know, just trying to push this garden to get a harvest going sometime before August or something like that, in a month. So this guy, I love this old-fashioned sprinkler. It's really doing the job right now. These tomatoes, or these Italian pomodoros, and these are the chili and gili. I love these chili and gilis. These are the button size, the large button size tomatoes, and these are the ones that you make the salads and the cucumbers with and things like that, like cucumber salad and the chili and gili. And this is absolutely gorgeous tomato. You can make a tomato sauce from them and things like that. So I did plant a lot of tomatoes this year, and that was my goal, was to make and can a lot of tomato sauces as possibly I can. And I'm trying to get to town to get more seeds, actually, to plant more. So, and then this is the Carosello here, which is another type of, it's like a large pear. It's like a large Spartan size apple cucumber. It's oval in shape, and so this is sort of kind of coming along. And just in the last few days here, this Carosello really sort of taken off. In about a week, it's grown about a foot for some reason or another. And the hay, you know, using the hay here, it does help, because it really does keep the moisture in, compared to, as in like some of the things like in the ground here and that with the melons. I did put hay down, and I kind of turned it over, trying to get more fertilization in, to get the nitrogen, the phosphate, and the potassium out of the ground and things like that. So I went through quite a bit of hay, and I just thought, well, I'll just let the melons do their thing, and maybe they will recoup, because as I say, like, as long as it does not get cold, these melons will hang around something, you know. So there's a melons, annies, eggplants growing in here. Some melons, annies are taking off. These are already like a couple weeks in growing, and some are not. And it's just that I was using the Karcher and it was not getting a lot of hand watering. But now, as of today, like, I would hand water with the Karcher and it would get in here, but now this is moist. So, and I'm trying to do like a major watering stream to see if I can. I've been watering at like late into the night or early morning hours, and that hasn't worked either. And this is the first time I've had this the Goliath sprinkler on. So, and I'm also using the old-fashioned watering cart there, kind of wheeling the cart around and putting the sprinkler on the watering cart. So it's doing its job here. That was the hard thing, is that after basically I would be doing the watering and be so tired, because the goats do take up a lot of my time. The goats, they need like 2-3 hours. So this is, I'm very happy with this right now. I'm just gonna let this run a bit. And this is the Zucca Lunga. I like to call it Lungo because it just goes. Well, as last year is the first time I ever planted Zucca Lunga, and it can grow like up to a meter. Like I've seen Zucca Lunga up to a meter long. So amazing growing this year. I'm growing on the ground. And finally, I kind of broke ground here. I feel like as I'm stepping down, the ground is moist. So that's very happy that sprinkler is really doing this job. And here's a Zucalunga growing right now. So this is in about its first week. It depends on the rain and the conditions and everything. As I said, like they can grow last year up to about 80 centimeters. I had Zucalunga about 70 or 80 centimeters long last year. But I don't think, because of the moisture, out of the pallet bins, like if they were hanging outside of the pallet bins, they would just hang off of the pallet bins and the hay would keep the moisture in, and these things need a lot of moisture if you're going to grow something very long. And then this is another type of cucumber, which is Carosello. I think the other one's Baratieri. I think this is Carosello. And I'm trying to grow like a Carosello tree, but I don't have the rain again this year. But it's kind of like on this little mound here. There's lots of them. And maybe it'll kind of just go and scale up this tree, because I've seen them scale like that. So this is sort of like all taking off here. The melon mound, as I said, like there's no rain. I germinated melon seeds in the greenhouse, and basically you know, like I had to run the sprinkler a lot to germinate. Melons are just, you need the right temperature, so the 33 degrees Celsius is very good for melons, and then you need at least 2 or 3 days of heavy rainfall for about 10 minutes to half an hour, 2 to 3 times a week, and then that's where the melons really prosper. Other than that, this is just really turned into an ant mound, and I'm deciding what to do with this next, really. So the dogs have been through here a little bit, and then I kind of one day took a closer look. Like one melon came up and I was like, what? I was really unhappy. And then there's some zucchinis. So as I planted like four different types of zucchinis. So last year I was trying to grow zucchini, and again, like when September came around, I tried to grow zucchini in the natural garden, and it bloomed and everything, and it just got too cold. And I really like to make like a pizza, like a basil pizza with zucchini or something like that. It's just like a classic vegetarian basil, zucchini, all the herbs and pomodoro, like tomato sauce and everything pizza. Just one of my favorites with like onions and garlic. So summer coming, but there is not as many bees here as I had last year. You know, so I'm trying to use basically what I have, and that. So got 4 rows of zucchini all grown up here, and then all of a sudden in the last week and a half, so I got like in this row here I got like 4 different kinds of tomatoes, and then these are the ones that you use for the sauces. So I'm very interested in, if they do mature and they do give me tomatoes, I will be doing some canning with these ones, and I'm hoping still for rain. So there are some pomodoros. Tomatoes are growing here. All the way along. It's about 15 meters of tomatoes. And then last but not least, here on this side I got the butternut squash growing. So it's sort of kind of, but it just needs the right weather conditions. Butternut squash is not, if you live in a more cooler type of environment and you are getting 2 to 3 types of rain and you've got the right acidity in soil. So supposedly it's supposed to grow here. This is of the Mediterranean kind. A lot of these seeds I'm using from the germination, everything are from neighbors so they're non-GMO. They're like over from the 1990s, or like even probably early 1980s, 1990s. They've been using the same seeds. So, but this is all fun for me because this is the first time I've planted and grown myself like this much. So I just basically used up my whole bottom garden here. And then the figs came back. The quality of fruit this year is not being like really good, but it's been like okay. So here's a fig right now, and this is of the green kind. And I don't know, I've never really seen a wasp or a wasp egg inside a fig. I'm just gonna eat this as it is. Man, that's juicy and sweet. But the quality of the fruit is, last year because of the rain it was more soggy. This year it's actually really dry, but still juicy. This tree gives me about 200 plus figs a year. Here's one. Here's one monster. There's one for you. I'll just check it before. Go. Tastes a little bit fermented there, like wine. I've tried fermented fig wine here. Kind of interesting. You can make all sorts of stuff with fruit. So there was a few ants on that, but they called out. That's okay. All part of growing organically is that you don't use any herbicides or pesticides, and just let the ants do their thing because they are cultivators. And I was gonna get on to doing the Rootstout potato mound, and because it didn't rain like in 2 weeks, I was like, forget it. I just wait till the rain comes in about first week of September, and then try doing potatoes then, because potatoes here can kind of sort of grow in warm temperatures. You don't need the blooming. And then I was thinking of getting hay or something for here, and then more more potting soil and thing, and then doing like at least 5 bins of potatoes or something. So right now this garden's kind of shut down, which is sad because I have this much to do, and then the animals and everything, and that's taking up most of my time, my daytime. So bananas are coming okay. They just kind of sail and float in the wind. There are some more pomodores actually growing in here, and they're scaling up the banana down here. So these are of the Roma kind. So in total I think I'm growing like 6 different types of pomodoros or tomatoes here, and 1 leaf. So it was about 2 meters high. I'd say like 1 leaf here kind of broke off. Yeah. And these are, I cut it off, and then I give it to my chickens and that, so that's all good. This tree here, and this is also this garden here. Like last year I planted and I seeded in here, and I really didn't get much at all. And I guess this tree here is a sign, is like, don't plant here or grow here, because this tree is not grown at all in about 3 years. Kind of sad. So let's go take a look in the greenhouse, and well, we'll look at this afterward, because this is the pride and joy of my garden right now. There's some more pomodores in here. It's very warm in here. So I did get the Zucca Longa. I call Zucca Lunga. And this is my seeds from last year's, from the gourd. So it is really taken off. This is like in a week and a half, it just was like a handful thing. And now it's taking over the tomato bed here, which I'm not too happy about because I wanted to grow more tomatoes in here. The only thing is that if the tomatoes are too hot, they will split in the greenhouse. So I should have actually waited, and I was like, well, I just plant them early and then I don't get into the July, August. If they start blooming and things like that in August, first 2 weeks in August, then I'm in trouble because they will split and I won't get a very good sauce. But it will still be edible. But this is just one way of growing tomatoes. So as I said, like there's 4 different kinds of tomatoes that I'm growing in here. I took some peppers that were down there. Also where the chili and chili, I did plant some peppers, and I took 2 because they were just midget size for like a month. They never did anything, and I brought them here, and they're just kind of thinking of growing or something like that. So this guy will take off, and then, you know, I did plant it a little bit early. Actually, last year I planted this in first weeks of July, and I was still growing this in November, like first week of November in the greenhouse. I was growing this outside and inside of the greenhouse. Outside and the ants came, and then I picked all the leaves off, and then it was growing outside, and it still grew me a Zucchilungo in like first week of November. And then the red hot peppers, which I'm a big fan of. So this is what I've been eating all week since haven't been feeling very good. And they're green right now, but they do have the capsaicin in them, and this whole entire plant is medicine. The red hot pepper lamp, the leaves are an antioxidant. So you can eat that. The whole entire plant is medicine. I'm cracking a little bit of sweat in here. It's all good. Kill some parasites. I got some wild mountain cabbage going here, and then the rosemary. So what I did is I took all the potting plants out and I condensed it and I made like one bed. So this is like a dozen of those herb plants, of medicinal plants I was growing, and I just put the pots, emptied it out and what was growing, and I just put it in, and I made like one condensed bed. Like the aloe vera, the rosemary's here, the giant parsley. There's still some parsley growing in here, so some is taken over. There's some oregano in there. There's some more hot pepper going here. There's a few different things, but most of them. So there's like about, I think, 4 different types of basil growing in here now. So the basil's really taken over, and then when the frost comes and everything, the other ones like the rosemary will stay, and then there's some other ones that will kind of stay, and the basil will kind of die off. So I'm hoping to make some pesto with that, with the tomato sauce. I did plant red hot peppers in here. I planted like a whole row, if you've seen the video. And it looks like there are some, but it's kind of like iffy. Yes, no, I don't know. So I don't really see any really hot peppers yet. But somehow these are kind of funny, because all of a sudden, like, I bought seeds, and these are like my own now. I bought seeds and it took them like a month to germinate, and all of a sudden in like a month and a half I had like a plant that was edible, and like 2 months then I had red hot peppers. And there's some salads, some Austrian salads growing in here, which is nice. I need to get some water in here then too. And there's a Zucchilungo growing in there. So I'm trying to get out of both windows a Zucchilungo, and then scale up. Oranges, gotta wait till winter time again. I just put some, I love these golden yellows, So I put some golden yellows in the ground here again. In this potato bin, I got to put some hay in here. And yes, I'll be planting potatoes in here. I actually did a harvest and I got 2 large bowls. So about 5 kilos, or like more, 8 kilos of potatoes out of here, out of my first harvest, which was nice. I got some more tomatoes growing in pots. These are the ones from the greenhouse last year, so I just decided to grow tomatoes outside, all here. And then that's the aftermath. And if I get around to planting coffee or something like that, which I want to do, and I have to do it like sometime this week, if I'm going to do coffee, it has to go in there. Fennel's got to come out. They're all gone into seed. Got to plant something new here. Hopefully with these weather temperatures and everything like that, these ones are just going to ripen up. See, there's some that are already kind of in another 2 weeks or a week or something like that. Oh no, here I got one. Oh yeah, I got my first tomato of the season. Look at that, eh? Looks good. I'm gonna try this right now. So these are the Chilean Giles. And they're the sweet little, like the button sized tomatoes, which I'm growing down there. And I like. I'm looking for another one. Nope. So it's gonna give me more. Gotta get the hose up here. And I'm growing some more pomodori's in here. We're growing a whole bunch of tomatoes. So the one thing in this drought period that will survive is the pomodori tomato here. So because one season I did, it was very hot and I had very good olives. It was a very good olive year, so possibly which will happen this year if there's not a lot of rain, is the tomatoes will survive through basically the harshest drought period, and just add a little bit of water and everything else will die off. And then this cucumber, I'm still waiting on cucumber here, but this guy, he just keeps growing. Now he's like, I don't know, 3 meters high or something like that. And I just have like these old branches and stuff from when I cut down trees. And maybe he's gonna scale all the way up to like 4 meters high. I don't know. I'm trying here just to get this guy to give me a cucumber or something like that. So I need bees. That's the one. See, because they're all blooming. They're all blooming here, and there's no bees. Oh yes, there is. There's one, and I guess he's just trying to figure out. So pollinate. Come on, Mr. Bee, pollinate. And then I can get a cucumber here. It's kind of dry, so it's just too hot to plant and grow food. So I guess I will recoup again with the olives. Maybe in October, November. So tractor runs, so it'll be sitting here all summer, which is okay. No bees. I will show you, actually I just found the beehive today. So the bees did arrive, but it's not one that I can put in a hive. And they are right here. There were some bees here earlier on, unless they decided to go somewhere else. Nope, they're still there. They're making their hive. They just showed up, so they weren't here the other day, and now they're here right now, and they're in the root cellar. And Ziggy and Pippi, my lawnmowers. Oh dear. They just want to go out for a walk. They can walk and walk and walk for 3 hours a day. How are you guys doing? Hello. Doing some filming today. And I got special types of ducks, and I've eaten some ducks now, courtesy of Frida, my dog, who came back. So it's okay. And some hens are here too. So there's like 1, 2, and 3 hens. There's like 1, 2, or 3. Oh no, there's 1 turkey over there. And then there's 1, 2, and 3 white ducks, and then there's 2 gray ducks. And the gray ducks are of the special kind. They're very expensive. They're like 12 euros like for 1 duck. So changed the water yesterday. Possibly you've seen like the corral. This corral now is getting worked on. There's some concrete blocks being put down to cover up some of the holes from the fox has tried to come in here. There was another, I put some wire down here on the hole yesterday, so the fox has been trying to get through here again. You can see the hole down here. He's been trying to push through there. Like once when a fox finds the hole, you'll keep working the hole until he gets in and out. And a fox can get inside of this in and out in 6 seconds. Pretty wild to see a fox actually grab a bird. In less than like 10 seconds, the fox is in and out with the bird in its mouth. So, okay, and that's it. Survive the drought, I guess. Do the best I can. Just keep planting lots of tomatoes. Eat lots of pasta and tomatoes, I guess. Pasta and tomato sauce is survival food. Maybe get some potatoes when the rain comes. I think if I get end of August and I plant more potatoes that way, because I don't really want to plant potatoes and not have any rain. I need like a couple good 2 or 4 good rainfalls in a month for potatoes is good, and then you get a nice big size potatoes. Otherwise you get really small ones, and then that's not fun. And my computer is heating up. Okay, turn the chili and chilies off from the well pump. So I got the well pump hooked up to here, kind of doing the reverse effect thing, getting the pressure up. All good. So this is Tony at Casa Esmeralda. If you like my videos, please do like and subscribe. I hope I've inspired you to go outside to plant and grow your own food, even in the worst drought conditions possible. Thank you for everything who has watched my videos and has liked and subscribed, and hit that like button down below, and I will see you in the next little bit, maybe soon, when I get around to making another video. So take care and bye for now.